Welcome back to another episode of the Bono's Real Estate Podcast, where we talk all things real estate marketing, social media tactics, and how to grow your business in a unique and relevant way. My name is Bo Bullard. I am with Pioneer Title Agency here in the state of Arizona, and today I have a very special guest, Sarah Allen with Glow Real Estate Collections.
Yes.
Rockstar agent.
Well, I play the piano, so I wouldn't say that's quite rockstar, but
The star of her own show. How do you like that for an intro?
I like it. I love it.
Good.
I mean, you can keep going.
I think I'm capped.
Yes. Can't get much better than that.
Sarah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So, to get things started, who is Sarah Allen? Tell us how you got started in the industry, how long you've been in the industry, what you did before the industry.
Okay. Well, I'm a mom and a wife, and that's how I started in real estate, to be honest with you, as a stay-at-home mom and obviously a wife at that time. And I thought, gosh, I want a lot more out of life to show for my daughter. I only had one at the time. And I said, what can I do that would give me some flexibility, give me a sense of accomplishment, and be able to have a schedule to where I can incorporate my daughter in things, take them on vacations, and just be present for both my husband and my daughter. And that was real estate. Shortly after getting into real estate, I realized it wasn't as flexible as I thought it was going to be, but it became a passion of mine, and I haven't really looked back since.
Now, we've talked before about this. Weren't you into golf?
Yes.
Tell the people about your golf life.
Yeah, it's like a hidden section.
She's a professional golf player, ladies and gentlemen.
I wouldn't say that. No. Yeah, I grew up around golf. I've played golf since I was 3 years old. I played in college, full ride to a Division I university. I wanted to turn professional, but things changed and I decided to take a different route, but I still love the industry. I've done everything you can possibly do in it, from, playing kind of like a semi-professional tour. I also was a beverage cart girl. I worked outside service. I gave lessons. I taught a high school golf team. So really anything in the industry I've done.
So a legit golf person.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So before we get into the real estate side of things, what is your favorite reptile?
My favorite reptile?
Your favorite reptile?
I love snakes.
Snakes are disgusting. Do you have a favorite type of snake?
Oh, gosh. I don't. I would say I am aware of how powerful rattlesnakes are because they are in our area. And I try and teach my daughter to not be afraid of them, but to know their power and to always be aware of your surroundings. So I would say just being able to say you need to have that thought around a snake. I mean, that shows its power in the reptile world.
What about like the big ones, like the anacondas?
No.
You don't like them?
They don't scare me. I don't find them as fascinating as I do a small poisonous snake. I mean, to think that a small poisonous snake can actually kill someone. Obviously, an anaconda can as well.
Well,
it can suffocate you, or eat you.
Or eat you whole. That would be not a good experience.
It doesn't hold as much excitement.
You just get bit and then you just start rotting from the inside.
Exactly.
That's a real fear. That's Kimberly.
Kind of that's what my husband feels in our marriage.
Kind of off the scene here. We have Kimberly Marsh, famous photographer in Prescott. Do you like snakes?
I do.
She likes snakes as well. We got some weirdos up in here. We got some weirdos in the house. Okay, so kind of to pivot. First things first, where do you think the market is headed?
That's a really good question. And I wish I had a crystal ball. And most of the time, I've actually been telling my clients this. If this was 2019, even 2020, I might have a better answer for you. But it is so strange out there right now that I can't even say this is where I think it's going. If I'm going to give an idea and kind of project where I think it's headed, I do think prices are going to continue to decrease. I don't think that's a lack of appreciation in your home, because if we look at where the market is heading over the next, year to 5 years, I still see about a 4%, maybe 3 to 4% increase year over year. And that's because we're going to a normalized market. So it's just so different because we've had such a strange market for 18 months that we can't say, oh, this is what's going to happen over the next 6 months. But since we're going back to a normal market, I can only say this is what a normal market shows, which is an appreciation of 2 to 5%, which is why I'm suggesting 3 to 4% year to year.
Okay, perfect. So if somebody's wanting to buy, let's talk about buyers.
Mhm.
If somebody's wanting to buy, but their fear of interest rates being high and prices being high, what options would you give them?
Yeah, I always say date the rate, marry the home. So interest rates will always fluctuate, they will always change. And if you're fearful of the interest rate right now, you always have the option to refinance when interest rates drop in the future. You won't have the same option to buy the same home. So we're in a really great opportunity for buyers right now because you don't have to just buy a home because it's the only one on the market. You actually just get to choose the home you want to buy, which you haven't been able to do over the past 12 months. So you're getting a home you actually love and want. And even though it's a little bit higher interest rate, you can negotiate on the price. That's always a plus. Negotiate on the list price, and then you can always refinance in the future.
Sellers. What would you talk to sellers about? Over the past 18 months, they've been getting crazy prices on their homes. Now they're not. Now they're feeling like they should be getting more. What advice would you give sellers?
So this is what I tell them. If we list your home right now, we're going to sell within 97.1% of purchase price, and it's going to sit on the market for about 32 days. Would you be happy with that?
No.
You wouldn't be happy with selling within 97% of list price
Here,
and only on the market for a month?
I'm putting my shoes in seller's shoes right now. I feel like what they just got done experiencing is houses being on the market for less than 2 weeks. So I think having a set for, what'd you say, 35 days?
31
days.
to 32.
So about a month. I obviously know that that's good, what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to play devil's advocate. So sellers are not really listening to that, right?
No, not in my experience.
Oh, they are listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're just better than me. All right.
I'm just a closer, bro. So no, I would say they're being realistic.
Okay.
And I think it's because the conversations that they're hearing and they're having with their agents, hopefully, is a realistic conversation.
Right.
When I sit down with the seller, I'm as transparent as possible. And I say, if we want to sell your home with those statistics of within 97 to 99% of list price and sell within a month, we're going to list it at fair market value. And guess what? Fair market value right now is still way above what you purchased it at even 5 years ago. So, I mean, it's like, it's really a win-win market right now.
Do you still get sellers being a little bit greedy and still wanting over ask, multiple offers? They're still looking for that?
They're out there. I have not dealt with them, luckily, but they are definitely out there. And those aren't serious sellers.
Okay.
They're not serious.
What do you say to them?
I say, if you want to list your home at this price, we're going to sit on the market for well over this time frame. You're not going to, unless we can wait for the perfect buyer. The perfect buyer may never come. They might, but you have to be honest with yourself and with me that if we list at this price and we don't get any showings or any offers within the first 2 weeks, you're going to reevaluate their list price. And if you aren't willing to do that, this will be a 30-day listing and we're done after that.
Done deal.
Done deal.
She knows what she's talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
I've got 2 kids. I don't have time to play around.
She doesn't have time for that.
I don't.
All right, so kind of to pivot. I'm extremely jealous of you because you have been in the Tom Ferry world. And so you've been invited on multiple occasions to be on podcasts, Tom Ferry's podcast specifically. You've been asked to come and speak at a Tom Ferry event. Tell us about how that happened.
So,
also, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you don't know who Tom Ferry is, please go look him up now. Pause the podcast. Go look him up so you know what we're talking about. All right,
Tom Ferry and Jason Pantana, because they're both amazing and just full of value. Well, I have been a Tom Ferry coaching client, not with Tom Ferry, but through the Tom Ferry ecosystem since 2018. And so I've been with them for a while, and they have been so ahead of the game as far as marketing and branding and what you should do as a real estate agent that I feel like I've been ahead of other agents, and not just in our area, but just kind of internationally, if you will, because they do reach internationally, of where you should take your business. And so in 2019, I want to say 2018, 2019, I started incorporating more video, which was very much what they were talking about during that time. So I started a series called the 928 series, and that was just talking about residential real estate and residential purchase contracts in the Prescott and Quad City area. And it was just me and my phone and a ring light in my bedroom. Just doing like 1 minute videos. And I had a really good time with that, but it really established myself as an expert in the area of real estate because I was talking about things that buyers and sellers wanted to know about. That escalated into meeting Stephen Kinsley with The Den, who is a videographer as well as the owner of The Den. And he and I started doing just kind of random YouTube style videos, making them into shorts for Instagram. And it would be a combination of comedy and also intuitive videos that you want to know about with real estate. That escalated into the Solo Agent, which is our office series that Bo and I and Greg do together.
If you haven't followed the Solo Agent on Instagram, go follow it now.
It's really fun. We love that show. And so I think just really listening to what they were talking about, incorporating it, and then also seeing a huge return on that, I guess kind of put my name out there. And a lot of my videos started circulating through Tom Ferry and Jason. They were actually watching it and commenting on my stuff. And I was like, I can die and go to heaven right now. This is so exciting for me in the marketing world. And it just kind of grew from there. So I had the opportunity to actually get my video shown at a lot of the seminars that they had and workshops. And then I was asked to be a panelist at the Sales and Marketing Edge. And that was really fun because I actually got to go up on stage and hold a microphone, which is sometimes dangerous, but I feel like I held my own.
Well, you're doing good now. Thanks. This is kind of a microphone.
Yeah, it's a mini one.
This is
it's working for me.
So what are some of the things that you got? Because the Tom Ferry podcast is pretty much the biggest real estate podcast out there. So when you were on that, is there anything in particular that you got from that?
Yeah. I mean, just I would say the knowledge of the other ladies that was with me on the podcast was just amazing. First of all, I'm like, why am I on this thing? Like these women are so much more powerful than I am. Yeah. So I was really happy to even be in a room with them, not let alone be in a room with Tom Ferry.
Right.
But at that time we were in the market of you're receiving 15 plus offers. How do we have a proper buyer consultation with your buyer to say, this is the type of offer you need to write. And also, how do we present that to the listing agent or the seller so that your offer gets accepted? So that is a completely different market. And we're talking like 4 or 5 months ago, even that, maybe even not even that much. Not that long ago, we've completely changed from that. So the discussion is completely different. But just, I think that the general message was, and this is powerful for agents out there too, is how do you establish yourself as an authority in your industry and in your market? And we were talking, like I said, buyer consultations, what you talk about, stuff like that. And that was their way of establishing authority with their client to say, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing. You make the decision, but I'm going to help guide you in the decision.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was cool. That when I was watching your episode with Tom and stuff, I was super jealous, but I was like, good for Sarah. That's super cool.
Shout out for Bo.
She did do a shout out for me, the social title rep. So that was cool. So we do a lot of social media stuff together. We've been doing stuff for a year and a half, maybe. What role has social media played in your business?
It's played a huge role in my business, and I'm going to be real honest with you.
We get real on the Bono's Real Estate Podcast.
So in 2018, I was pregnant with my son Ace, and my friend Elena was on the Dancing with the Stars show that they do here for the Boys and Girls Club.
Right.
Okay. And I was like, how do I become a celebrity dancer on that show? I have to become a celebrity in my market. I've still yet to be nominated for that. I have to put in some volunteer work. But I was like, oh my gosh, like I really want to dance. So I really need to put my name out there and get my brand recognition out there. So it was a combination of like totally selfish things and also listening to branding and marketing. But that's how I started with Instagram. And I started realizing, wow, this is actually a really powerful powerful tool
Right.
for lead generation. And so it switched from I'm just going to post every once in a while to this is actually a lead gen source that I need to dedicate time to, put in my schedule,
Right.
and make it a serious thing. And since then, I have had major connections with referral based agents. I've also had major connections with my SOI, so sphere of influence, past clients, and then have gotten several leads through just exposure of this is an agent in Prescott.
Mhm.
And it's not, people don't just go on Instagram and say, I'm going to find a realtor in Prescott, Arizona. But they do go on Instagram to look up places that they're visiting, which
Right.
might be Prescott, Arizona.
Mhm.
And they also might be an agent who is really good with all different kinds of marketing and is looking for a specific agent in Prescott and wants to check out their social media page to see if they are also doing it there too. So it's been really great for, like I said, referrals, keeping in touch with past clients and my sphere of influence, and then also new leads that are coming to the area.
So what did you do before social media to get new leads?
So I was a premier agent with Zillow for a while. I was also on a team and they provided a lot of leads. I really enjoyed my time on the team and I thought it was a really great learning experience. When I branched off on my own, I again became a premier agent with Zillow and I had a really great conversion rate, but I was paying a lot out of pocket monthly for major ownership in my market. And I have nothing negative to say about that. It was a great opportunity for me
Right.
when I first became a sole agent, but I just don't need it anymore. So
do you think that at this point in your career that the majority of leads that you're getting are from social?
Yes, I would say social media and my database. I try and love my database as much as they have shown me respect and love and loyalty. So I pour as much as I can into them.
So in my experience working with agents, the Zillow stuff can be effective, no
Mhm.
question. But I have experienced that when agents go all in on social media and start building a brand online, the quality of leads that you get from social seem to be a lot more genuine.
Yeah.
Is that your experience?
Absolutely. I won't lie. I would get leads on Zillow, and it would be like a call in the morning, and they'd say, "I want to see a house this afternoon," and then we would write an offer on it and go under contract.
Right.
Those are like the most amazing deals.
Right.
But there is not a lot of loyalty when you get an online lead,
Right.
because they don't know you.
Online meaning Zillow, not
Zillow, or really just any kind of online lead, whether it's through your website or through
Right.
Zillow or through any of those sources.
Mhm.
So I think that's when you say genuine, it's because they have a genuine interest in you as well. They can relate
Right.
to you because they understand you from your social media. They're like, wow,
Right.
okay, I also have a Labradoodle, or I'm also a
Yeah.
mom and I have a crazy son,
Mhm.
or there's something there that's
Right.
connecting them and keeping them to you.
Mhm.
And that's why it's more genuine and more loyal, more so than qualified, but just more genuine and loyal.
Right. So staying on that point, for somebody who wants to start building a brand online through social media, what are like a few tips that you have for them? You talked about showing people who you are as a person, not just as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
But what are a few tips that you have for somebody who wants to start building that brand online through social media?
Yeah, I would say quality, consistency, and authenticity.
Boom. All right. How?
So quality, for me, I'm really big on quality. A lot of times there's a battle between quality over quantity.
Well, you and I have that
Yes, that battle going on.
disagreement.
I am jumping on the quantity boat, but
Thank
I
you.
really want to make sure that even though there's going to be a large quantity of content, it's valuable. It's valuable to the consumer,
Right.
because I don't just want to be a talking head. I actually want to provide something for them, whether it's comedy relief or actual real estate knowledge.
Right.
So, so make sure you're bringing value, which could be quality. Consistency, you have to be consistent with your posting, whether it is, a branding image or it is a video, which I haven't done in a while, but I'm really jumping on board with that again. You have to be consistent with it so that your consumer starts to know, okay, this is going to be consistent content that I'm going to be receiving.
Right. Yeah, consistent. Mm-hmm.
And then authenticity, just being yourself, because the more you can be true to yourself, the more you're going to get that client back to you. That's
Right.
going to be your green light client. It's like, I know know this person. I can relate to this person. I'm going to trust this person in the process because I have seen them in a lot of different realms,
Right.
and it's going to create that loyalty. And also, side note, I don't want to have a client that cannot understand me. That's not my ideal client. So if I'm going to show my ideal self, that's probably going to attract my ideal client, and that's the person I want to work with. So don't be afraid to choose your clients as well.
Right. So going back to the tips, one tip that I recently learned from Jason Pantana was that the quantity game is pretty significant at this point on Instagram. And I just learned this yesterday, actually. So the number of posts per week for maximum growth on Instagram is 14 times per week, which had me shook because I'm doing one a day, consistently one a day. And so now I'm pushing it to 2 a day. So, but going to your point, I think that quality doesn't have to mean you have to have a really nice camera. I think we agree on that. I think the quality that we're talking about is like Kimberly's really nice camera. No, I think the quality that we're talking about is the quality of the content. So, instead of just always posting things of the food that you're eating and the walks that you're on, stuff like that, if you're actually providing value, I think that you're going to get a lot of good feedback from that. So I'm on the quantity boat for sure, and I'm trying to put out as much content as I can, but I also try to focus on what I'm putting out and the quality of what I'm putting out. So so any other tips? You said quality. What are the other two?
Consistency and authenticity.
Quality, consistency, and authenticity. So what about we're going to pivot here for a second. So what about when people want to start in a career, whether it's real estate or not, loving what you do or being curious about what you do? This is something I've been thinking about a lot recently. What do you think is more important?
That's a tough one because that's a battle I face every day, to be honest with you. I love real estate, but I'm also very curious, not just about real estate, but where I can take it. And I don't know what pushes me more.
Right. So it's interesting to me because everybody says if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
But if I love fishing, and so, but if I started to do fishing as how I paid the bills, I wouldn't love it as much anymore. I think it's an interesting conversation, the loving what you do or being curious about what you do. Like with what I'm doing now, working in the title business, I have zero curiosity about escrow. I've made that clear. Like I don't care about escrow.
I'm buying your title for all your escrow.
Yeah. That being said, I know that it's a fact. Escrow and title insurance are critical to the real estate transaction. That's just not what I care about. That's not my job. So, but what I am curious about is the significance of how fast you can grow a brand in today's world. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I spend my time on. And so I'm insanely curious about that. Do I love it? Like, do you love it? Do you love it? Do you love building a brand?
I do.
Or are you curious about, or are you curious about the what if of it?
Like I said, it's both. It's both.
It's
I would say it's more curiosity than it is loving it, because I do really love it. But if I'm writing a contract or I'm doing transaction work at 11 o'clock at night after waking up at 5, not really loving it at that moment. But I know I have to get it done in order to provide the service that I want to provide. So I would say the curiosity of it is and it's not just, okay, how can I, what can I do in this business, or where can I go? It is curious about what I'm no longer willing to stand for and how this is my ticket to not deal with that anymore. So, when I first started real estate, never in my life would I have said, I can take the whole month off of September and go on a 10-day cruise and then go on a week-long, mountain biking trip with my girlfriends in Park City, Utah, and then come home with a puppy and, and do all of these things. And then also in the same breath say, okay, well, as soon as I come home, I'm going to put, 3 or 4 more under contract and still have time to decorate my house with Halloween decorations. So I think you really have to be honest with yourself. And it's not, I think so many people say, what's my goal? This is what I want. I want this and this and this. But we forget about what we're not willing to stand for anymore.
Mhm.
And I think if you switch it around, you're like, you know what? I'm not willing to say I don't have enough money or time to take my kids to Disneyland or to take them on a 10-day cruise and continue to feed myself excuses as to why I can't have that be done.
That's good.
So that I'd say that's my biggest driving force.
That's good. I think to that point of when you then think about your family, it doesn't really become about what you love, but curious about what you can do to protect that and to take things to the next level for you and your family. I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
All right. Pivot again. The solo agent.
Yes.
How did it get started? We talked a little bit about it, but let's go micro with it. How did it get started and why did it get started?
So it got started because I was doing just kind of solo videos with Steven, the videographer.
Shout out to Steven.
Yes, he's so amazing.
He's so amazing.
Just like funny videos, and I had all of these random ideas, and I kept having this vision of me in my office. At the time I was with Keller Williams, like he would be filming me from a distance and I would be doing like weird Karate Kid type stuff. And I was like, I just have this vision of me doing this interview. Like, how do you prepare for work? And then I'm like, I do all of this stuff. And then it's just like skips over to me doing these stupid Anyway, so that is kind of how it started, like that weird vision. And we started one, I think it was being a solo agent. And I'm like, I am a solo agent. I do everything on my own and blah, blah, blah. And then the next scene was me asking for, my printer to be fixed. And then I needed a pen. And then I needed, her to print some documents. And it was like, okay, you are not a solo agent. You actually do have a team of people behind you.
Right.
So it just went from there.
And then, so fast forward to when I joined.
Yeah.
And this is when the show really took off. So no, fast forward to when I joined. That also went into play of kind of like you are a solo agent, but you have this team, and then Greg, obviously. Then now you have this team, and I think it's been cool. If somebody wants to do this type of thing, where would you have them start? Keep talking.
If they wanted to do like a series of...
Yeah, if they wanted their own show.
I think you have to say to yourself, what can I do consistently that showcases who I am and what I'm about, and also relates to whatever industry that you're in.
Right.
So when I first started doing video and started thinking about how can I be myself, I posted on Facebook actually, and I said, if you could describe me in 5 characteristics, what would that be? Like, comment what that would be. And funny was a big one. Okay. And I'm like, well, gotta incorporate that. So, it was funny, authentic, genuine, and it was all of these things that I wouldn't have put that down. I would have been an amazing golfer. But so I said, okay, wow, if this is how people see me in my truest form, then I really need to start embracing that. And when I made the decision to embrace that, it completely changed not just my branding and marketing, but how I viewed myself, like just everything, how I conducted myself. It was great.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure you get this all the time. And since I've joined the Solo Agent show on Instagram, everywhere I go now, it's, oh my gosh, I love the videos that you do with Sarah and Greg. They're hilarious. I loved this one. I love the swag one where you talk about how stupid title company swag is, because it is stupid.
That was really funny.
That was a funny one. Go back and watch that one. But what I really like about it is the content. So I think about this a lot, and I get asked this a lot. I am not a creative person, Bo. What do I post? I don't know what to post. And my biggest advice always that I take myself every day is stop thinking about creating content and start documenting your life.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like, we are taking some time out of our day to do this and to film and take 100 retakes because Greg messes up. Sorry, Greg. Sorry, Greg.
There goes the bus, Greg.
No, but it is kind of real life things that we're portraying and videoing. And so I think that as far as if you're trying to think of what to create as far as content, start thinking about it as documenting your life. That is exactly the reason I'm doing this right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing this right now to record it and to chop it up into little bits and pieces and post it.
Yeah.
Because
He's
I know
gonna go Dahmer with it.
I'm gonna, yeah. So, like with you, I know you're going to say a bunch of things that are going to bring people value, and I'm going to chop that up and I'm going to post it, and people are going to like it. And then you and I can then collab on Instagram and on TikTok and all these different platforms to where it's just more content. So this is not hard. I'm filming this on an iPhone. I think that when I had that mindset shift of documenting what I'm doing instead of trying to always be creating content, it became less overwhelming.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
What we've been doing. And I think it's been great.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Think about this one.
Okay.
This question. You ready?
Yes.
You need a sip of coffee first?
Maybe.
She needs a sip of coffee first.
I actually want to put it down.
Oh, she's putting it down for this question. That is a good idea. Because this is a heavy one.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Yes.
She's ready. What is your most embarrassing real estate story?
Oh, good Lord.
Jeez.
Let me think about this one. There's so many. Gosh. I would say my most embarrassing one was when I took my son to go show a property in Prescott Valley. And it was for my amazing clients who do not have kids. And we were walking through the home. It was a last minute thing, which is why I had my son with me. And there was one bedroom where obviously a little kid, it was their bedroom, and they had Legos everywhere. So my son was in there kind of tinkering around with the Legos, and I didn't think anything had been done. You know, there was just a bunch of Legos everywhere, but there were also some like actual completed Lego projects. No. Yes. And so he's doing his thing. I'm kind of, talking to my clients, going to grab him. We leave the house. I call the agent, leave him a voicemail and say, we really like the home. We're going to write an offer on it. He calls me back and is pretty upset when he calls me back.
Oh,
and no. He says, my seller's son, one of his Lego things was destroyed.
Oh, no.
He said, I don't know if your buyers have kids, but
Oh no.
And I said, they do. I totally blamed it on them. They don't even have kids.
Just blamed it on them. They don't even have kids, and you said they did?
Kids. I said they did.
Oh, okay.
And I said, I'm so sorry. I will make sure they keep a better eye on them. But it was just
the non-existent kids destroys the Lego.
It was my son. I'm sorry. But we did buy the house.
Oh.
For over asking.
Okay.
So it was a plus.
There's a positive ending to this story.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. This last segment is rapid fire.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
One word response for the word that I give you. Are you ready for this?
Like what comes to mind when you
just say one word for the word that I give you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yes.
Real estate.
Fun.
House.
Oh, boat.
Boat. Money.
Greed.
Social media.
Ooh, fun.
Appraisal.
That's enough.
No word, just just sold.
Ooh. Excitement.
For sale by owner.
Lame.
Prescott.
Like biscuit.
Marketing. Can't say fun.
No, I was going to say 101.
Ready for this last one?
Sure.
Pioneer Title Agency.
Oh, wonderful. I was actually thinking Laurel. That's the first thing that came to mind.
Shout out to Laurel.
She's amazing.
Escrow officer. Sarah, thanks for being on the Bono's Real Estate Podcast. Where can the people find you?
They can find me on social media. It is Sarah with an H, Allen with an E and 2 L's, Realtor. That's my username. And that is also my website, my email. I mean, you can pretty much type that into anywhere in a Google search and I'll pop up. Same with YouTube.
Go give Sarah Allen, the Realtor, a follow. Kimberly Marsh. Come over here, Kimberly Marsh. Give Kimberly Marsh, the famous photographer, a follow as well. I am Bo at at Bo, the social title rep. Thank you for watching.